On a freezing winter night, a 17-year-old black girl was biking through the streets, making deliveries, just hoping to earn enough for one more night at the boarding house. As she hurried to finish her last order, she saw an old man standing by the bus stop, lost and shivering. She hesitated. This delivery was her last chance to keep her job, but kindness won. She turned back to help him. What she didn't know was that the man was a billionaire and that one small act of compassion would change her life forever. Before we dive deeper into the story, tell me, where are you listening from? And don't forget to subscribe so I can share more heartwarming stories with you tomorrow. The wind off the river cut through Maplebrook like broken glass, sharp and cold enough to sting your teeth when you breathe it. Street lights flickered over patches of frozen sidewalk, the snow crushed to gray under tired feet. Aaliyah Carter pedaled fast, head down, her gloved hands stiff on the handlebars of a second-hand bike whose chain groaned at every turn. 17, thin and tougher than she looked, she had learned to keep moving, deliveries paid by the mile, not by the hour. One more order before curfew, one more envelope of cash, one more night she wouldn't be locked out of the only room she could afford. She whispered to herself, just one more stop, trying to drown the hunger in her stomach and the ache in her legs. Her phone buzzed with a message from her manager. Don't be late again. Last warning. She shoved it back into her pocket, jaw tightening. The air smelled of iron and chimney smoke, the kind of cold that made you feel like even the sky had given up. At the corner near the bus depot, her front tire skidded slightly over ice. That's when she saw him. An old man stood by a rusted bus sign, coat thin, scarf half undone, clutching a crumpled paper and shaking fingers. His skin was pale under the orange streetlight, his eyes searching every passing car as if Arthur might roll up any second. He murmured something Aaliyah couldn't catch, maybe a bus number, maybe a name. She slowed, one foot dragging the ground, watching him from a few yards away. No one else did. People kept walking, heads down, collars up, too busy or too cold to care. She bit her lip. Don't stop. You can't stop. The clock on her phone flashed 7:41. The delivery had to be done by 8. 10 minutes late and she'd lose not just her pay, but the week's rent. She glanced again at the man. His mouth moved soundlessly, the paper trembling in his hands. He looked lost, not waiting lost, like a child who wandered too far and forgot the way back. Her mother's voice flickered through her mind, soft and distant. If you ever see someone alone like that, you stop, baby. Doesn't matter who they are. Aaliyah squeezed her eyes shut, pressing her tongue against the inside of her cheek. Not tonight, she muttered. Please, not tonight. She pushed down on the pedals, the bike jerking forward. But after 2 turns of the wheel, her stomach twisted, heavy with guilt. The image of the old man wouldn't leave her head, those empty eyes scanning the street, the way his shoulders hunched as if the world had forgotten he existed. She cursed under her breath, turned the bike around, and coasted back toward the bus stop. Sir, she called, cautious but gentle. You okay out here? The man blinked, startled, his gaze cloudy and unfocused. Bus 23, Willow End. I think I missed it. His voice cracked like dry wood. Up close, Aaliyah saw how frail he was. Skin thin as paper, fingernails blue from the cold. You live near Willow End? She asked. He nodded slowly, unsure. That's a long way, she said, eyes darting to her phone again. 7:46. Damn it. She could make it if she left now, but the man shivered, trying to rub warmth into his arms. Aaliyah looked at his shoes. Old leather, split at the toes, soaked through. The guilt hit again, sharper this time. All right, she sighed. Come on, let's figure this out. He hesitated, confused. Figure what? Getting you home, she said. It's too cool to wait here. The old man blinked at her, disbelief, flickering like light behind fog. You don't have to, he murmured. Someone will come. Aaliyah looked down the road. The buses had stopped an hour ago. Nobody was coming. Yeah, well, looks like I already did. She knelt, checked her bike's back rack. It wasn't meant for passengers, but it held weight before. Boxes, groceries, sometimes her own despair. She brushed snow off the seat and looked up. Can you sit here if I go slow? He frowned. I don't want to be trouble. Too late, she said with a faint grin. Trouble's kind of my thing. He smiled for the first time, a tired, small curl of his lips. She didn't realize then how much that smile would stay with her. But as she tried to climb on, her phone buzzed again. Where are you? She ignored it. Her fingers trembled as she wrapped her scarf tighter around his neck, tucking the ends under his chin. Hold on, she said. The old man looked at her with glassy gratitude. You remind me of... He started, but his voice trailed away into the cold. Aaliyah didn't ask who. She pushed off the curb, wheels crunching against the snow, legs burning as she pedaled into the biting wind. The delivery bag thumped against her hip, heavy with the last order she wouldn't complete that night. Behind her, the man hummed something, faint, a tune with no words, maybe a memory too faded to name. She clenched her jaw and kept pedaling, every push forward a fight between reason and compassion. You just ruined everything, her mind hissed. Maybe not, her heart answered. The road curved along the river, street lights blinking in and out like dying stars. Each one pass felt like a countdown. She couldn't stop. Her phone buzzed again and again in her pocket, but she didn't look. She didn't need another threat to know what she'd already lost. The man leaned closer, whispering through chattering teeth. It's colder than it used to be. Yeah, she said, breath white in the dark. World's meaner, too. He gave a soft, wheezing laugh. Not all of it. She looked over her shoulder, saw the ghost of a smile, and for a moment the cold didn't feel so cruel. A car splashed past, horn blaring, sending a spray of icy slush over both of them. Aaliyah swore, shaking her head. People are wild, she muttered. Always have been, the man said, voice trembling but calm. They passed the town's edge, where the pavement ended and the old road began, cracked, narrow, half buried over snow. How far did you say it was? Willow End, he murmured, frowning. I think near the hills. Ugh, great. Uphill. The man didn't answer, his head lowering as if sleep might take him right there. Aaliyah bit her lip. She couldn't let him freeze. She pulled over under a dim light of an old gas station sign, flickering half dead. The place was closed, but a vending machine hummed by the door, its neon glow the only warmth for miles. Aaliyah propped the bike against the wall, breathing hard. Her thighs throbbed, and she could barely feel her toes. You thirsty? She asked. Arthur didn't answer, just shivered, his teeth clattering. She rummaged through her pockets, counting the coins, just enough for one drink. She bought a small cup of hot chocolate from the vending machine and handed it to him, steam curling in the cold air. Here. Careful, it's hot. Arthur wrapped both hands around the cup, staring at it like it was the most precious thing in the world. Then he smiled and pushed it gently toward her. You take the first sip. You need it more, she protested. And you need to keep pedaling, he said firmly, voice laced with quiet authority. Humor, a old man. She agreed, took a small sip and laughed at how it burned her tongue. See, he said, amused. Still too young to be careful. And you're still too old to be freezing, she shot back. They both laughed, a sound that echoed strange and beautiful against the empty road. When they started again, the air felt different, lighter somehow, though the night hadn't grown any warmer. Arthur hummed softly, a tune with no words. It took her a minute to realize it was a lullaby, the same one her mother used to hum when the lights went out during storms. She didn't ask how he knew it. Some things didn't need explaining. The climb grew steeper as they neared the ridge. Her breath came ragged now, every exhale a cloud of pain. The wheels slipped more often, but she refused to stop. She could hear her mother's voice in her head again, steady and sure. When you help someone, don't count the cost. The good will find its way back. Hold on, she whispered through gritted teeth. We're close. The old man said nothing. His head rested lightly against her back, his breath shallow but steady. When they finally reached the crest, she looked up and saw a faint outline of houses below, a neighborhood half buried in snow. Old fences, lamplight glowing through fog. That it? She asked, gasping for air. Oak Hill Drive, he said, his eyes brightening for the first time. Just down there. White gate, ivy on the fence. You couldn't have mentioned it was uphill. Didn't seem so bad last time, he said, smiling faintly. You're lucky I'm not charging by the pound.